Let's talk about Sohag, a man who ran a small, dusty scrap shop. His kingdom was piles of old metal, nothing fancy, but it was his. Sohag's rule was simple: honesty in every deal. Every transaction, every rupee was recorded, no tricks, no shortcuts. His books were as straight as a steel beam. To Sohag, business was a promise, to his customers, his family, and himself. He paid taxes, gave fair wages, and never cheated on the scales. In a world of shortcuts, Sohag was the outlier. His reputation was his most valuable asset. He taught his children, your name is all you truly own. He believed that if enough people did the right thing, society would get better. His shop was a tiny gear in a giant machine. He thought if his gear turned right, the system would too. But the machine wasn't built for honesty. Sohag's clear conscience came at a cost. He was building a life, not just a business. His ledger was a diary of integrity. But in a city where corruption was the norm, his honesty made him a target. He believed in the system, but the system wasn't built for men like him. Sohag's story isn't just about business, it's about the cost of doing the right thing. And in his world, that cost was higher than he ever imagined. In Sohag City there's another ledger, one you won't find in any accounting class. It's the ledger of fear, and its biggest entry is Chanda extortion money. Local gangs, backed by political power, collect it as a tax for safety. Most shopkeepers pay, seeing it as the cost of doing business. But Sohag refused. To him, paying Chanda was poison, a stain on his honest books. His refusal wasn't just about money, it was a challenge to the system. The gang saw this as rebellion, a threat to their authority. They sent warnings, first friendly, then not. Everyone pays, they said. It's how things work. But Sohag stood firm, believing the law would protect him. He trusted the police, the justice system. What he didn't see, the authorities turned a blind eye to the shadow ledger. The Chanda system was a messy but accepted part of city life. Sohag's honesty was a bug in their corrupt software. And the system doesn't tolerate bugs. His stand made him a problem to be solved. In a world run by fear, one honest man was too dangerous to ignore. The cost of his integrity was about to come due. The final audit didn't come with paperwork, it came with bricks and iron rods. The gang arrived in broad daylight, in front of everyone. They weren't hiding, they wanted to make an example. Sohag was dragged from his shop, away from his honest ledgers. This wasn't a robbery. They didn't want his money. They wanted to erase his defiance. The violence was public, methodical, and brutal. Each blow was a message. This is what happens when you don't pay. The street became a courtroom. The verdict delivered with savage force. The law was nowhere to be found. Police were absent, or maybe just late on purpose. The system Sohag trusted failed him completely. His murder was a warning, a bloody receipt for all to see. In the language of accounting, Sohag's life was written off as a bad debt. But he wasn't a bad debt. He was a creditor, paying his dues with honesty. Society defaulted on its promise to him. His death wasn't a crime of passion, it was a business decision, and the cost was everything he had. Society is a balance sheet. Assets like trust and justice, liabilities like fear and corruption. Sohag's murder tipped the scales. Justice and trust written down to zero, fear and silence soaring. The official accounting, laws, courts, police, is just for show. The real books are kept on the streets, with violence as currency. When authorities ignore injustice, they're cooking the books, pretending assets exist when they're gone. The social contract is broken. Sohag followed every rule, but was slaughtered. His killers broke every rule and walk free. This inversion tells us honesty is a liability, corruption an asset. It encourages everyone to cheat because the system cheats you. The foundation of society cracks. So here's the question, are we still doing real accounting or just counting bodies? When a man's life is worth less than a gangster's demand, what's the point of a ledger? Sohag's story is about the soul of a society. Will we let criminals do the final accounting, or will we demand that truth, justice, and dignity are assets that can never be written off?